Sekoya, the name comes from the word Sekoya with a Q.
Yeah.
It's a redwood tree. It like the Sekoya trees, they stay for so many years, and they're wherever they are, like they provide canopy to other trees. So actually, the name Sekoya, I got it from a song, a Hillsong song, From Seed to Sekoya. There's an actual song. So I was thinking about the arts industry, and I was thinking about the arts industry, and every emerging artist has a seed. The reason why most people don't get to a Sekoya stage is because we don't have enabling environments. So I wanted this organization, and I want this organization to provide a canopy for artists to be able to grow, to be sustainable, but then not just to be shrubs, to also become sequoias, so that we can all become like a forest and we keep providing canopies for other people. But I'm also Kenyan, very African. If you tell me to spell Sekoya, like if you tell someone from my town to spell Sekoya, they're not going to spell it with a Q, they're going to spell it with a K, most likely phonetically from Swahili. So it's like, this is fancy, this is good. Yeah, so that's the inspiration of Sekoya, and that is what grounds our story, and that is what informs everything that we need to do. We are here to cover artists and to give them the capacity and the tools, the support to be able to become something huge and something that will stay on for longer. I work in a corporate job. I have instruction, I have a job description, this is what I need to do. But then Sekoya is my creative playground. So then it helps me to stay in touch with the community here, the creative community. It helps me to talk to people, which is very important when you're away. So it keeps me grounded. I like it because it feeds my soul. So it's not like work. I'm doing it because I'm like, I also need something. I also need to be in touch with home. I need to see these things happening at home. I need to test these ideas. Then I have the playground. Before I left Kenya, I used to run a craft business, a wedding craft business, but it was just me. It was just my business. So when I went, it was not sustainable, nothing, as in there was no one to leave the business to. I said, the next thing I will build, there has to be apprenticeship from the word go, because I realized that is the only way you get to make impact that lasts. So for the people, like I said, Sekoya was started majorly for the volunteers, or the team, let me say the team. Those people, it was very paramount for me to teach them or to train them in arts administration, because I feel like that is the only different thing that when I went abroad, that is what I found, or that is what I saw. And I was like, these people, the only thing they're winning, the way they're winning more than us is because they treat the arts very professionally. So I wanted more people. I didn't want to be alone. I wanted more people to know this kind of, and it's very easy things. I wanted them to know this kind of skills and to be equipped like that. And I do a lot of training. I do, even though we are doing it remotely, I do a lot of training. I take time to work with each individual team member, with whichever project that they're doing. And then we also pass it down. So if someone like Naomi, social media manager, she's working with somebody else who's new. If right now I have the project coordinator, she has to work with an arts administrator. If there's a project manager, she has to work with the project coordinator. So then this way, there's a continuous passing on of institutional knowledge and information that doesn't just stay with one person. And like I said, it's supposed to be a sequoia. Like it's every individual tree. I know that the people we are with right now, artists do a lot of things on their own. I want them to have their own brands, their own organizations. The only way that's going to happen is if they're equipped professionally, individually. Yeah. There's a founder syndrome that is very bad. So that's why I like to separate Sekoya from myself, because otherwise there's this hierarchy that there's a place you can put yourself in. But then I think realizing that a founder is just an ideation person and you need everybody else to do the things that you need to do, it makes me feel like founder. But mostly these days I say managing director because that's what I do.
my name is Nancy Mutai. I am a creative. I am adventurous. I love being outside. I love experiencing new things. I love going to the mountains. Yeah, just typically that. Professionally, I'm a creative graphic designer. So that's my 9 to 5 daily. With Sekoya, I am the programs manager. Yeah, leading a team of very able volunteers across the country. So that's who I am. It's very important to be able to involve the community in our programs as Sekoya because they are the people who actually hold us up. So this is first because most of our volunteers generally just come from the community around us. And fun fact, most of our volunteers are actually not creatives, yes. So these are people who are for the creative community. So they want to see, okay, so how can I help the creative person, strive or do well in the industry? So yeah, so I think that's one way that we do it. Also, we do a lot of outreach. So we have, from the different people who've been able to participate in our programs, we have a communication list that we have come up from way back in 2021. So everyone who has participated in most of our programs, we have an admin kind of setup that just gets down all that information where we can be able to reach out to them in case we have any programs set for throughout the year. Yeah, so we do personal outreach either through email, WhatsApp. We also have a creative community of these individuals, but then also mostly for the creative people so that you can be able to share resources. And I mean, you don't feel like you're lost in this creative jungle. Yeah, so also we want to foster a lifestyle that we don't gatekeep, especially secrets with where you get your stuff, where you get this information. So that's also a community where we want to share that kind of information. So for example, I'm a paper craft artist. So in case there's another person who has a business dealing with paper, this is a platform where they can be able to find out, okay, so where do you get your material? How much is it? Blah, blah, blah. So that's part of it, so that they feel like they're welcome, they are heard, they're listened to, and we care about their information and what we do. So yeah, that's how we've been able to rope in people to support us. Yeah.
The in-kind partnerships is it's our best friend. Audacity to ask is a character of mine. The audacity to just ask people, please, can you, I'm doing this wonderful thing. Do you want to work with us? But also our team, our volunteers, or even the creative community are very resourceful. So for example, the master classes are usually held in town, Moi Avenue with American Spaces. They offer, by the let me plug them. They offer free space for events if there's no monetary aspect to it. If it is for the community, it's for free. And we learned about this because I just asked in our WhatsApp group and got to find about it. And this is our third year with them. So it means I have a venue for free. The mentors, I'm usually keen in just following people's journeys online or whatever in the arts industry. I reach out. Like, I think you are doing, for example, Olivia and team, you're doing a wonderful job marketing. Do you mind sharing insight with other emerging artists? So I tell them what Sekoya is aiming to do. I also try to see if our values are aligned. And most times, actually, people want to share this knowledge because the established professionals, they came a long way. And people are like, I do not want you to make the same mistakes as I did, and I want you to go a bit faster. So we even have people, like sometimes we have more mentors than the sessions because we only have 4 sessions. And so then next year we're hoping we could make it like an actual program. So then this way we can accommodate more mentors to be able to do it. Yeah. You can't be the only one at that table. I'm the kind of person who, maybe because of being community oriented, you've given me a table, I pull the seats for everybody else.
So collaboration is huge for us because, as you heard, most of our activities, first of all, are are accessible in a way that they're either free or very affordable. So we have been able to identify certain groups of people, organizations, institutions who've been able to support us with our goals and our mission. So this is because, I think essentially is because we have a shared vision and mission. So I think that's what has really helped us to sustain the partnerships and the collaborations that we have been able to make. So mostly we don't have really a structure of how to bring people in, but it's important for us to have something that we are looking towards together. Yeah.
People have very different ideas or ways of doing things than you. So then when the more you work with people, the more it sharpens even the organization. It's also an asset to yourself because you are allowing them to express, to find a sense of ownership. And then they give you back those things in the organization. So you actually benefit. Like all the programs I would say that we've done were suggested by our team members, our volunteers. They suggested, oh, we need artists to have entrepreneurship training. We need to have a WhatsApp group. We need to do this. We need to, and then that becomes the organization. So if you could just be waiting for me, no, it wouldn't be as wide as it is now.
My name is Vincent Were, aka Vinny the Artist. I'm a visual artist. I'm an art instructor at Sekoya. What inspired me to join Sekoya is my passion. I'm an artist. So the passion in me inspired me to join Sekoya. So Sekoya with me is just like they're under creative art. I'm also under creative art. So that combination made me to join Sekoya. How do I engage the community? For example, like when you have some activities, we had the one in Nairobi design, where we had some bottle painting, some mosaic, some collage. So I help people to understand themselves. So I engage them to understand what I'm doing in Sekoya. Naweza shukuru sana Sekoya imenipatia platform ya to identify myself or to showcase my work to people. So to Sekoya, I can say big up to them. I have some art club. I do teach art there at my own art club. I do, for example, I do sell some art. I do have some people on board that help me to market my stuffs. I have a manager that help me market my stuff. Understanding, for example, when you, approaching the deaf community, you see that is hard. That's a big challenge because you don't know the sign language. You must somebody to tell you how to do it, to get some gestures on them so that they can understand you. So how I overcome those challenges? For example, I get someone that can translate to them what I'm doing. That makes it for me easier to know what they want or to understand them well.
I didn't like the narrative out there, especially for craft artists. The narrative out there abroad is usually buy a shanga to support a poor woman somewhere. I wanted to tell our stories honorably, and so we did a magazine, an East Africa magazine. It was distributed globally, and I want to do that project again. We already have footage, we just need the resources to do the printing. So I want to share the stories that are within the art industry here and take them globally. Also, I'm looking for ways to merge my work in Canada and in Kenya. It has started through art exchanges, which I've done 2 projects now recently of an organization I used to work with and a friend. And when we do that, Sekoya is the one who does all the coordination and all of that and facilitation. So I want Sekoya to be the hub of whoever comes from wherever they're coming from. They know they have an arts organization that can facilitate their exchange here. Sekoya advocates for craft artists and the craft industry, but then serves all creatives. That means that was because I was a craft artist myself, and there's not a lot of spaces, there's not a lot of resources for craft artists because it's taken as though it's just for souvenirs, like you go to Masai Market and get them. It's a traditional art form that is never seen as an elevated thing, that can be an elevated thing. So it's very important for me to be able to advocate for this industry and to enable them to be seen and find a space of professional growth. But then the information that you get in Sekoya is for everyone. It's whichever field you're in, it is for professional growth. It is for entrepreneurship, it is for even personal wellness, and that every artist needs. So when you're walking into our space, maybe it's a masterclass, it's a portfolio design masterclass. Everybody needs a portfolio, right? But then when you walk in, the merchandise that will be sold will be craft merchandise. When you walk in, the icebreakers will include a craft activity. By doing so, we are making the audiences, first of all, honor craft artists, understand our processes, and just get curiosity. And actually, I think craft is one of those artistic skills that anybody can do it. So then we make other people be like, so I can venture into this. Yeah. So we serve all artists, but then we advocate primarily for craft artists. Do it. As artists, I feel like it's a natural gift and a talent that you are given. Actually, it's not like I feel like you're given a natural talent. It's an interesting thing. The more you use it, the more you get. I like Yemi Alade. She just produces songs, all the time. And it's like it never runs out. So I've learned that we second guess, we question, but the moment you start, there is a way it just keeps rolling and keeps going. Find a support system. You will definitely need it. And then start with where you are. Especially if it is for impact or with whatever you're doing, look close in your networks, because there's somebody else who can either be part of your journey or support it, or somebody is needing your services. And then also open up your dream to others. Like, let's not be artists in isolation. Open it up. You can never run out. If you open it up to people, you can never run out. And I would say to founders especially, or visionaries, take time to take care of yourself. We can't solve all the problems in the world in one day. I know you feel like, the pressure, but no. Tomorrow is also another day, it's fine. Take the baby steps, because you don't want to run out and be fatigued, because you want to keep going, right? So take care of yourself, but have a support system. Even if it is your family, when you're having supper all the time, tell them about your things. Yeah. And have the audacity to be proud of your work as an artist. Please show people. Talk about it, share, be proud that you're an artist. Do not just let it sit in and do it in the comfort of your home.
We are all about arts education and just enlightening people about, development of themselves as creatives, as artists. So we want to go into schools where we can be able to teach either art or this professional development resources, skills to artists in the programs that we have. So this is also inclusive of Tengeza, because we actually had developed a curriculum. This was during COVID time. So during this time, we brought in a couple of artisans, creatives, crafters in different areas. So paper crafts, jewelry, yarn, etc. So they developed like a very simple breakdown of how they are able to come up with this fantastic creative some artwork. We developed a curriculum, put it in a book. Then this can be able to be shared to the schools, because this was a point where we couldn't be able to interact or go to the schools to interact with the kids. I mean, it was COVID, scary times. Yeah. So what we also did, we developed like small packs of like an art box. So it has your different kind of art accessories that you need to develop this particular artwork. So it was exciting that that could be something that can be done. So curating that so that this can be able to reach way more people, way more schools, institutions, and especially these homes where you can imagine how music and art can be used for wellness. So that's one thing I think would be really great for us. We also have another program that we call Langata. It's an art program that we do in Langata Barracks. So part of our team just goes over there to hang out with the students over there, teach them, literally teach art skills, art techniques, drawing techniques, shading, etc. So it's exciting that that can be done. And I think it would be fantastic if we can be able to plug ourselves into different schools just to be able to share these skills out there. Another way to look at it is because someone might be able to have a fantastic idea in their mind, but once they're out of the bounds of their school, they don't know what to do next. Yeah. So it's one way to be able to ease their transition from high school or uni into now like the marketplace itself. So that's one way, one plan that we have. Another one is to have a space for ourselves. So this can be able to house a team of volunteers. This can also be a place where we can be able to showcase our merchandise, our artwork, because we have a fantastic group of people that do really amazing stuff. I'm sure you'll be able to see a couple of our things that we do online. So you can imagine how much more and how much awareness and how much exposure, the good kind of exposure that people can be able to get in a space where people can access.
All the courageous rats, they say you should love like the main character in a story. Aye, with a little bit of glory, yeah. And fantasy all seen. Can I be like the main character you see on a TV screen? That would be like a really nice scene.
The biggest challenge is funding. Sekoya is not funded. At this point, at least we haven't been funded yet. Have we tried to look for funding? Yes. Written a lot of grant proposals and things. So everything that we've been able to do is from whose pocket money? Myself. And even though we don't need that much, but the challenge for me, I think, is also internal. I know that if I'm having art professionals and this is what I'm training them to do, especially, I'll go back to the team. I want them to be paid. I want them to earn a living from this. Like, that is the whole point we're making, you know? So that is the thing that sits with me a lot. And we've worked our way around with in-kind partnerships, with being offered to services in kind, like through mentors and things like that. But I want us to be in a place where we have a continuous source of revenue. So instead of looking externally, right now we've started a fundraising that we are doing currently. And through this fundraising, we want to first educate the public that do not underestimate your 1,000 shillings. If you give me 1,000 shillings, I'll buy paper. And with that paper, I'll teach like 10 kids cards, you know? So we want to first educate the public how they can support arts organization and then to support us. And then we are also developing like a merchandise line. And through selling of merchandise, then we'll be able to get revenue. And also we are looking to give services. So this would be like in schools, institutions, in corporates, like during team hangouts or whatever, to offer our artistic services there and then get revenue. The other challenge is it is a volunteer-run organization, including myself. So there's a lot of turnover because, like I said, artists are usually in transitions. They're doing independent projects. So there's constant movement. And because of that, sometimes you're almost always starting. And that's why I have to work ahead and make sure that whatever you know, whatever I have taught you or whatever we've learned now, you have to pass it on to someone. And there's also seasons. Like there's seasons when the art industry is extremely busy and I'm working with artists. So it means the priority, rightfully so, has to be their own thing, you know? And that means that we slow down. But the way we do it is we like to work ahead. And then, so we have our things set. By the time an event comes, then there's a lot of pre-planning that has happened, that even if someone is not there, then somebody else can quickly jump in and go on. I used to have a small team of about maybe 5-7 people, but I was like, no, if 3 of them are not there or 4, then you have very little capacity. So now I've increased the volunteer base, but then that means the work on the volunteer coordinator is also a lot, you know. The other challenge, which is a non-issue, is remote, because I run Sekoya remotely. Locally, there is a programs manager, there's a project coordinator, they run the team, they are the bosses in Kenya. But then there's just proximity. There's something about proximity, you know. We try our best to do like virtual meetings and connecting, but then it takes a bit longer than if we would be in person. But that is also the beautiful thing about Sekoya. It's taking a life of its own apart from me. And I feel like that is still fine, because it's teaching me to be a leader who just oversees or overlooks, which is also good.
Juu sasa mini don number 1 boss lady wasikie vi. Nimekuwa chini nikihustle daily na sina ubaya. Oh yeah.
Sekoya's impact and projects that have been transformative. First of all, to the artists, we have established an creative entrepreneurship masterclass that is now annual. That's very important, because we tell people transferable skills, and it's things that you don't have to learn them in school, but you can adapt them in your processes. And these things equip you to do your work better and to be more professional, to be more aware when you're working. Especially sometimes we get ourselves working with corporates and like artists are joking. So that space is a place to open people's minds, teach them, train them to be well equipped. And then to the community, we have a wonderful program called Tengeza. It is an arts program for deaf children.
Hi guys, my name is Namutai, a volunteer at Sekoya East Africa, and today we are at Brooke Center for the Deaf and Autistic Children, and this is what we are up to.
Very close to my heart. And we do it annually also with a school, Deaf AD Senior and Brooke Special School. I like this project because it is a way for artists to also give back. So we encourage people to, because there's a lot of waste that happens in the industry. So any materials that have been left from your project, you give us, we upcycle, then we send them to the schools. We do a project with them, a workshop, and then we leave with them all the excess materials. So then this way, because one of the barriers in arts is accessibility to materials. So you as an artist, you're able to just make social change and social impact in that way. And then globally, I'm really proud of the progressive steps we are making with the art exchanges with artists from Canada. And I'm hoping that this becomes something that is formal. People do not know this, but I will say the year because I don't know when this is going to air. People do not know this, but in 2024, an organization came to Kenya in 2023. They did the arts exchange with Sekoya, but then they were also looking to bring some Kenyan artists to Canada. This was an organization I had worked with before in Canada. So in 2024, one of the artists, a dancer, Maulid, was able to come to Canada and be part of a festival in Canada. Two festivals and other projects. I was extremely proud, you know. And so I'm hoping that Sekoya continues to create opportunities like this for global impact and global collaboration.
Napatikana ni kama natakikana, napatizana kupati na wasichana. 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 Chakula tamu ni kama ni bad manners. Wanjiko dance kikamba tukibanana, not table manners. Chunga usikose balance. Don't tell your mama